Good, happy Thursday morning, October 29, 2020. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Thursday morning, so let's begin. First up, we begin with COVID-19 updates. 3 more Granite Staters die of COVID-19. 113 new cases confirmed. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
So I'm going to hold on promoting you this quarter.
Drop the taco. Get in the car. Does this censure?
Hampshire, the deaths of 3 more people linked to long-term care facilities announced today, along with 113 more positive cases. Since the beginning of the month, the 7-day rolling average of daily new cases has more than doubled. In that same time period, the average number of test results reported each day has only increased by about 16%.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And now let's take a look at COVID-19 in New Hampshire, what you need to know. And here is a look at that information for all of you right now. There are 10,641 number of people in New Hampshire have tested positive for COVID-19. 8,836,861 number of people in the United States have tested positive. 478 number of deaths from COVID-19 in New Hampshire. 775 number of people who have been hospitalized with COVID-19 in New Hampshire. And 409 number of deaths from COVID-19 in the United States. Let's take a look at this map of New Hampshire where current cases of COVID-19 are. In Nashua, 74. Let's take a look at this map of New Hampshire where total cases of COVID-19 are. Nashua, 1185. And now let's take a look at these 3 charts here. Let's start with the first chart here. New cases each day, New Hampshire in the purple, daily new positive COVID-19 cases in the orange, new hospitalization in red, deaths. Let's take a look at this chart here. Current cases in the purple, total current COVID-19 cases, and in the orange, current hospitalization. Let's take a look at this chart here. Total cases in the purple, total positive COVID-19 cases, in the orange, total hospitalization, red, deaths, and blue recovered. And let's take a look at this chart here. Positive PCR test rate and daily PCR test. Let's take a look at this chart here. Each group of cases, female and male of cases, and risk information. Let's take a look at this chart here. Infections, hospitalizations, and deaths. And let's take a look at this chart here. Deaths, percent of New Hampshire population, race/ethnicity of cases, and hospitalizations. And a reminder, your common symptoms: fever, lack of smell, cough, chills, difficult breathing, nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. How it spreads, and prevention tips. And be sure to stay with the Riley King Network for the latest of your COVID-19 information. Substantial community spread of COVID-19 seen in 3 New Hampshire counties. Infections rise in Rockingham, Merrimack, Hillsborough counties. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Now's the time to get a great deal on select Kubota compact and subcompact tractors. Our reliable
Rockingham, Merrimack, and Hillsborough counties all in the red, reporting substantial community transmission, which state health officials measure by the number of people diagnosed, number of hospitalizations, and percentage of positive tests. In those counties, the positivity rate in the past week has been about 2%, twice the state's usual average.
That's not just a function of increased testing being conducted. We know that people are letting their guard down. We know that people are coming into close contact with others.
State epidemiologist Dr. Benjamin Chan describes what's happening as COVID or response fatigue. After about 8 months of mask wearing and social distancing, people are starting to relax on the guidance. Numbers have gone up as a result.
We're going to see COVID-19 being introduced more and more into businesses, into schools, into long-term care facilities, and that is something that we want to try and avoid.
Communities like Salem and Portsmouth are keeping an eye on the rise of cases.
There's a concern, and we do kind of watch to see what our abutting communities in Massachusetts are doing and what levels they have.
So it creates a lot of discussion about, do we have to take any action at this point in time?
And with the holidays quickly approaching, Dr. Chan is urging people to pay attention to this rise in cases and continue with safety measures. Reporting live, Siobhan Lopez, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Team Trump campaign bus makes stops in New Hampshire less than a week from Election Day. Campaign circuits holding events. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Charisse LeClaire.
So I'm going to hold on promoting you this quarter.
Drop the taco. Get in the car. Does this cincher feel like...
A Team Trump bus carrying Governor Noem, Republican National Committee co-chair Tommy Hicks, Trump campaign senior advisor Corey Lewandowski, and others pulling in to greet a crowd of Trump supporters in Rochester. Noem returning to the state as she stumps for votes for Trump. She says in this race, the Granite State is key.
You know, it means everything. The president could win New Hampshire. That's why we're here, carrying his message of the fact that everything that he told us that he would do 4 years ago, he's done. And that leadership has consequences.
Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton narrowly took New Hampshire in 2016. Trump's team says they believe the enthusiasm is behind the president this time to win over enough votes. Wyndham's Corey Lewandowski says he thinks Trump will gain support for his visibility in New Hampshire, holding a rally this past weekend, among others, this summer.
This is a state that has historically wanted to look voters right in the eye, ask those candidates who are running for office the tough questions. Joe Biden left here on primary day before the polls even closed.
The bus greeted voters in Gorham and Alton today as well, but an earlier stop in Maine required police. This man was arrested for brandishing a wooden baton and a knife and was charged with criminal threatening. A spokesperson for Noem said the governor was never in harm's way.
Tomorrow, Donald Trump Jr. will hold an event in Manchester, and Second Lady Karen Pence will be in the state on Friday. In Rochester, I'm Charisse LeClaire, WMUR News 9.
Okay, there you go on that video and that report. Hundreds of thousands of rapid COVID-19 tests on way to New Hampshire. Head of U.S. testing strategy says tests can be used for large-scale screening. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Amy Cavino.
What is sucrose intolerance? Are you suffering with unresolved IBS-like symptoms?
If there's one pink line, you're negative. If there's two pink lines, you're positive.
This is the Binax Now Rapid Antigen Test Card. And the head of the United States COVID testing strategy, Admiral Brett Giroir, says you or your child will likely be asked to use one before this global health crisis is resolved.
The ideal use of these tests are really for large-scale screening because
Because that's what they're meant for. They can be done at point of care. You can get the results within 15 minutes.
It's not clear yet who exactly will get the tests. Schools and nursing homes are obvious priorities.
The Binax test could easily be used to screen students or hockey players or staff going into nursing homes. It's that good frontline test that can be done basically anywhere.
Accuracy and false positives are always a concern. Admiral Giroir has high confidence in the Binax Now rapid tests.
It's very sensitive, 97% compared to the best test, 98% specific.
More testing will uncover more infection, but the Admiral says that's a good thing.
It is true. The more testing you do, the more cases you will find. We want to do that because when we find that case, we can isolate them, contact trace, keep that one case from turning into 50.
News 9 has learned that Governor Chris Sununu will reveal how these 400,000 test kits will be distributed at a press conference tomorrow. We're live this evening. Amy Cavino, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Town, city clerks prepare for election day, changed by pandemic. Clerk says absentee voting much higher than normal. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Kristen Carosa.
So I'm going to hold on promoting you this quarter.
Drop the taco. Get in the car.
Does this censure feel like Dozens of people came to the Portsmouth City Hall Wednesday to vote absentee.
There's a very high turnout in terms of absentee ballots, extremely a lot of people, more than we've ever seen in the past.
City Clerk Kelly Barnaby says this year the number of absentee ballots has doubled.
We probably see about 3,000 absentee ballots. Right now, we're well over 6,000.
She and her staff will start to pre-process ballots this weekend to make sure documents have been properly signed. Ballots will actually be counted starting Tuesday at 10 a.m. Right now, Barnaby says they have enough poll workers to help on Tuesday.
We put out a call for people. We put it on our website. We've had a great response, and a lot of people are really looking forward to participating.
In Wolfboro, Town Clerk Pat Waterman says they have seen a large number of people looking to register to vote.
And the absentee balloting has been extremely high. My staff has been right out straight every day, every minute. And it's amazing how many people have come in to vote and register to vote.
In addition to taking care of that process, Waterman has been preparing for the work ahead on Tuesday. She says poll workers are ready.
So many wonderful volunteers that helped me in September who have asked to come back, which is really great because we're going to need every bit of help we can get.
Mask requirements are different in every community across the state, so it's best to call ahead to prepare before you head to the polls. Reporting in Portsmouth, Kristen Carosa, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. UNH researchers examine dorms, test wastewater for signs of coronavirus. Experts say people can shed virus in waste for weeks after testing negative. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Mike Cherry.
What is sucrose intolerance? Are you suffering with unresolved IBS?
Researchers at UNH Durham are digging deep to track COVID-19 on campus.
So whenever somebody is infected or sick with the virus, it moves into their GI tract, and as a result, they shed that virus when they go to the bathroom into the sewage.
Since August, they've collected more than 2,700 samples from 10 dormitories.
So we focus on two target genes within the virus's genome, known as the nucleocapsid protein.
Researchers are targeting proteins or biomarkers that are typically present when the virus is in the first or second phase of infection. The data allows them to not only track current infections, but establish a baseline for the length of time it takes the body to shed the virus.
There's been some work by folks in the medical field that suggests that people that have been infected still shed this virus, sometimes for weeks after they test negative for it.
The technology researchers are using allows them to detect low levels of the COVID-19 biomarkers inside a wastewater sample that can be heavily diluted.
You have, soaps that come from dishes, you have laundry, you have other cleaning chemicals that you might use in your house. It's all kinds of food that goes down there.
Mouser's pilot program could soon help other communities across the state apply the approach to their own wastewater samples. Mike Cherry, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. NTSB releases details in crash that killed 7 motorcyclists in Randolph. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Fall home improvement season is taking off at Bell-Tate's Building Supply. From building materials to tools, paints, and everything else you need, we'll make fall home improvements a breeze. Shop online at belltates.com. Visit one of our 9 locations or place your order via phone or email. This is what was left of the pickup truck that caught fire last June after investigators say Vladimir Zhukovsky crashed into members of the Jarheads Motorcycle Club in Randolph on Route 2, killing 7. These photos and those of the damaged motorcycles are in the more than 70 documents the National Transportation Safety Board released today. Massachusetts State Police arrested Zhukovsky 3 days after the crash. Some of the admissions they say he made include that he has a drug problem, that he uses 3 to 4 bags of heroin a day, but that he was fine and okay to drive and not impaired at the time of the crash. Blood tests done about 2 hours after the crash show Zhukovsky had cocaine, fentanyl, and morphine in his system. Transcripts of interviews with survivors detail what they saw before and after the crash, including one who said, "I felt like there was heat. It was an incredible sound, and then something went up in the air." Zhukovsky was driving from Massachusetts-based Westfield Transport at the time of the crash. The NTSB documents say one of its managers admitted the company lied to investigators about some of the driver logs reviewed in the case. Zhukovsky has pleaded not guilty to multiple counts of negligent homicide and driving under the influence. He is being held as he awaits his trial, which is expected early next year. The NTSB plans to hold a hearing on December 1st to talk about probable cause findings and any safety recommendations from its investigation.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for this morning edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Thank you for watching this morning edition. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you back here later on today for another newscast. I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Goodbye, everyone.